You love that one up there.
Oh, for sure.
That was easy.
Yeah. No, inside that was the.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Father, we thank you for this beautiful summer day. We thank you for the blessings you give to us each and every day. Thank you for protecting our workers and the construction crews that are in town. Just continue to provide safety for them. And we ask that you be with Rod Mason and his family tonight as they're dealing with illness in the family. Just give them comfort tonight. In thy name we pray. Amen. Okay, we have a quorum. Next item on our agenda is comments by citizens. If you're not on the agenda, have any comments at this point, folks?
No questions and comments.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the order of the business meeting, and the first item is approval of minutes from our July 27th meeting.
I'll approve the July 27th Berne City Council meeting minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion by Ron. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Kelly. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Next item is approval of claims and payroll.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Curtis, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Wes. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, our next item is nuisance ordinance number 797 and resolution 2026-8-1. So we have not introduced any of these items, or I guess the nuisance ordinance is the only one that would be introduced tonight. We had changes made to that nuisance ordinance, and so we're back here tonight to have discussion of those changes and proceed accordingly. So I'll open that up for discussion.
Well, in looking at ordinance 797, the red line version that Dave provided us, I thought all of the things we discussed at the July 13th meeting were accounted for. Kelly, I know you were absent, but I actually went back and watched the broadcast again, just to kind of refresh myself on exactly what we discussed. And, that's where I was asking Dave and the mayor earlier today, the ordinance hasn't been introduced yet. So I know Rod had a lot of input at the last meeting. So I thought you did a very nice job, Dave, in catching everything that we had talked about. So that's my feedback.
You just need a motion to introduce the ordinance.
I would assume that you'd be ready to, if you want to move forward at all, then you need to have a motion to introduce, and then you can still wait to really adopt until next meeting, but then you can have more discussion tonight, you can have more discussion before the adoption, but
If there's no more discussion, I'll make a motion to introduce the ordinance.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to introduce ordinance 797. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a second by Curtis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. So the ordinance has been introduced and voted on 4-0. We will we have time for discussion between now and the next meeting amongst council members if you choose to do so. Otherwise, it'll be on the agenda at the next the next council meeting that we have for adoption.
And I had mentioned this, resolution 2026-8-1. You shouldn't really be dealing with that until there's an ordinance that's adopted with the 2-year terms. Because the resolution is dealing with those 2-year terms.
Okay.
So,
You have anything to say?
Question.
Would you repeat the ordinance? I'm not aware of what the ordinance states.
Is there a place where it's published?
well, it should be now.
It will be now.
It's ordinance 797, which is the nuisance ordinance. It's just being amended. Certain aspects of that ordinance are being amended.
What are the amendments?
Yeah, what are the amendments? Can you explain, please?
It was dealing with, I believe.
Are the minutes on the website? It'd be easier, that would be a lot easier if you could read the minutes from our last meeting.
And those will have all the recitation of the amendments.
Yeah.
I made the suggested changes based on the minutes from the last meeting.
Stay on copy of that. Let's get a copy.
Meeting minutes from the last meeting. That's some of the changes. This is the discussion from the last meeting.
This is the
Yeah, and it goes to the next page.
We don't have them all in order.
Not sorry.
Okay. You mean the minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so the minutes will go on the website tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because we just approved those
We
tonight.
just
So they are
made the
now-
changes to the
That makes sense.
ordinance.
Yeah, so those are now approved.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Will we have an opportunity at the next meeting to discuss this as citizens? This language, or is that something we can talk about now?
You can talk about it now if you want.
Okay, I mean, I've got, the line of sight question is an issue. I mean, I don't know who's going to determine line of sight. If the purpose of some of these, like the nuisance statutes or the ordinances, I'm assuming that the purpose of these is to help solve a problem, otherwise it wouldn't be an ordinance, right? Problem being that there are properties that need either cleaning up or have created safety problems, health problems perhaps, depending on the nature of the situation of the given property. The ordinances are designed, it seems to me, to solve that problem, and that problem is to make sure that those issues are taken care of. Line of sight very, very much so restricts that. I mean, you're talking about neighbors snitching on neighbors. You're talking about somebody who lives in the city block, who may not have line of sight, who drives by that every day, whatever that, and I'm talking policy-wise. I'm not talking about the particular situation of whether a person can afford to take care of the problem or the economic issue. Oh, that's not the issue. To me, it's a policy question. That means a person can drive by that property every day and see it, but doesn't live in line of sight. But that person can't raise an issue under this ordinance.
It does, however, allow for city council members, nuisance committee members,
City employees.
city employees.
Just neighbors, is that?
The line of sight the line of sight, if I understand correctly, applies to people who are neighbors.
Okay.
So it doesn't apply to just citizens.
Somebody across town cannot come to my house and drive down the street and look for violations that they perceive to be violations. Now, however, city council can, nuisance committee.
What if it's 2 blocks away from your house?
Yes, and it
What-
affects your
Okay,
property.
here's the question. Here's the issue. The people that are in line of sight are not the only people that are affected by a property that's a nuisance.
There's another issue though.
Property values are also affected.
I understand that, but there's another issue of people who are coming from different parts of town, looking at what they perceive to be nuisances. We have to think about the people that are getting filed against as well. We are here to represent all the people in the community, not just a certain segment. And so the line of sight, in my opinion, protects some folks from some, which we have had, some overzealous members of the community going through the community, just looking for what they perceive to be a nuisance to report. And that's not fair to the members of the community. And I've had phone calls with very upset people on the phone. And I think this is a way to allow for everyone to be represented. The people who feel there's a violation and the people who
If you're
feel,
taking away my right, if I don't have the ability to go and say, somebody 2 blocks from me has not taken care of their house and it affects the value of my property.
No,
So I
Not
just-
quite, not quite. One of the changes that we made sure is in here is that if this line of sight provision stays in the ordinance, people who are affected who don't have the line of sight still can talk to a council member, a nuisance committee member, a city employee, and they can file on their behalf. They can file a complaint on their behalf. So there's still an avenue, even if that stays in.
Things can be a problem.
I still think you're violating my rights by not allowing me to do so.
It depends on who's on the council. I mean, if it's not an important enough issue for the people that you report it to do anything about it, then, of course, I suppose that's true. Whether I report it or I take it to a council member.
I guess the one thing I would like to interject with the way the process has been working for the last 2 years, complaint forms are submitted. They'll continue to be submitted. If there is a neighbor who has to look at something or deal with something on a daily basis, they have the avenue to submit the complaint form just like they do today. Kelly's recommendation with the line of sight was to try to address some things that she brought up, on the 13th when it first was discussed, about some of the things that Kelly just talked about and how some people were using this process, maybe not exactly as it was designed. So when Kelly brought up the line of sight at that meeting, I was concerned that there wouldn't be an avenue for other people like city council, nuisance review board members, police officers to submit complaint forms. So I really lobbied at the last meeting, which the meeting minutes will show, that we still need to be able to, if Lee has an issue with something, she can go to her city council representative. She can go to a nuisance review board representative. She can fill out the form, give it to them. It can be submitted. So I think you still have the ability to do it. And I think if these changes are implemented, I guess proof will be in the pudding. Does it help things or does it hinder things? And if it hinders things, ordinance can be adjusted again if we've created a problem. At this point, I don't feel like we've created a problem.
I appreciate the clarification. I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
I get,
There's specifically a statement that we've included in here that says, when a perceived nuisance is observed by a member of the police department, a city employee, council member, or member of the nuisance review board, a formal written complaint of the violation shall be filed with the city clerk treasurer or the clerk treasurer's designee. That did not come out. In fact, we strengthened that.
Good.
So that if a citizen that does not have the direct line of sight comes to a board, nuisance committee member or nuisance board member or a council person, and says, hey, would you file a complaint for me? That can still be done.
The concern was driving past something every day on your way to work or on your way to the coffee shop and not be able to file something that you think looks, that needs to be addressed. This kind of takes care of that.
Yeah. Well, I would appreciate, just from a citizen's perspective, that you guys stay vigilant with some of this. I do understand, and I believe that it's important to be compassionate. I think there are ways to do that. I think that certainly reaching out to people that we perceive to be violators is a good first step. And there are groups in the community that would love to help a person who really has real needs. But if it's simply irresponsible behavior, my view of the world is compassion is not compassion if it's an excuse for irresponsible behavior. If there's a real reason, then I'm all for it. I just would encourage the council to stay vigilant, because there are just a whole lot of places around the community now that are becoming a problem. It's not just one or two, but it's just.
And I guess, Trace, I appreciate you guys coming and expressing your thoughts, your concerns. John, Dwight, Lee. I know John and Dwight have heard me say this before. I keep track of a spreadsheet on all the addresses that we've addressed. And over the 2 years, we're getting close to 60 properties that we've dealt with.
Well, thanks.
And not easily dealt with all of them. But the process is in place. It's working. I think we're trying to fine tune it and make it better, just to address some issues that have come up. And I don't think it's going to slow us down any, personally.
Appreciate it. No, I just wanted to get some clarification on anything else on it. Because you don't get all the details in the paper. You got, all we heard was there's going to be a discussion of it tonight. And so, anyway. Thanks.
Anything else? Okay. We're gonna, I guess, table or move the resolution until after we adopt the nuisance ordinance. So the next item on our agenda is the public records ordinance 798.
I'm looking at you, you're looking at me.
So Dave put together an ordinance, basically protecting us, helping us so that we don't have to respond to so many commercial purpose public record requests that are crazy requests.
Can you give me an example?
Yes. So I talked about it last meeting, but for example, one of them, I got 3 in 1 week, and one of them was to give every segment of the roads in Berne and the speed limits and what direction the speed limits change. And I was supposed to send GIS locations to verify. So that's one of the requests.
What was their purpose for wanting that? I'm curious.
It's just to collect data. When I requested, they basically said they're using the information to help research in the future. I have no idea what the speed limit would be implying, but and then one was requesting credit card basically credit card purchases from 2025 to current date.
In other words, all of the contractors' contracts,
Yeah.
which public record is one thing for citizens or for interested parties, but if they're trying to use that data or that information for commercial purposes, there's a carve out in the Indiana statute that allows us to do just this, so that it isn't an excessive burden on the clerk's treasurer's office. So that's what this is about.
Okay, Cal, are you required, or do you do it as a matter of purpose? Ask what the purpose of this thing is when they make a request like that? You do that?
Yeah.
Okay, is that required, or something you just do as a matter of course?
So once this ordinance is in place, I can basically have them fill out information to see if it's commercial
I see.
commercial
And then
purpose.
explain that on that
Yeah,
form? Okay.
yeah.
There's a form to fill out, okay. good.
Yeah.
All right.
Did I explain everything?
I think so. I think after our last city council meeting, when this came up, then on AIM, like 2 days later, I think they must have heard what we were discussing. There were quite a few emails from different cities talking about the same thing and talking about state statutes that Dave was referencing that were already in, place. So they're not just hitting Berne, Indiana, they're hitting lots of.
And some municipalities have already passed this one.
Yeah. Any other questions from Cal or for Cal? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to introduce ordinance 798.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Curtis. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We just put that on next week, or in 2 weeks, okay. We'll have that on the agenda for August 24th for adoption then.
Table to the 24th.
Okay, next item is introduction of the 2027 salary ordinance that was sent to all council members. And the proposed ordinance is for a 3% raise for all full-time employees and an additional $2,000 for police officer salaries. And then all the employees, full-time employees, also we're going to include a $25 increase per month to our medical reimbursement account. And then the elected officials ordinance, which is 801, has the same increase of 3% and the $25 increase per month for the medical reimbursement account.
I just have a couple of questions. I made myself a spreadsheet so I could compare over the years. And I saw that there's a $500 for employees with CDL certification. That's new this year, is that correct?
That is correct.
So is that a one-time or is it a yearly stipend do they get?
Yeah, so that would only be given in the year the CDL training is completed.
Okay, so it's a one-time.
Yeah, so it's really for new employees
Okay,
that we train, because we have a trainer in-house that trains, and so yeah, it would be when they complete it.
The trainer gets the 500,
Yes.
correct? The trainer
Oh.
of that person, of our employee, gets the $500
For
in the
doing the
year.
training.
Yes.
Which
Okay.
is astronomically cheaper
Yeah.
than what
Oh,
you
yeah.
would pay if
I'm
you
sure.
go
Yeah,
someplace
I'm
to
sure.
get that
Ivy
certification.
Tech would be $4,000 or $5,000.
holy Toledo, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about $5,000.
And then my only other question, so that makes perfect sense. I just didn't know all the specifics of that. In the salaries, when I looked at the salaries, it looks like for 2027, all the folks in the city are getting an increase except for city council members? Did I just not see that correctly, or is there,
No, that's correct.
okay. I just wondered because I know we had an increase the prior year, and so is there a reason? Not that it'll make or break me at all,
Since I've been mayor, I've done it like every other year.
Oh, okay.
Last year I did 250, so next year it'll probably be another
Okay.
250. That's
I
fine.
just didn't remember
Yeah.
that, so, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Do we need to introduce each of them separately? Or
Yeah,
I
800.
would do them separately.
Yeah, separate 800 and 801 are two separate salary ordinances.
well, I'll make a motion that we introduce ordinance 800 as presented.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Wes. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, then I'll entertain a motion for introduction of salary ordinance number 801.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Is there a second to that ordinance?
Second.
Second by Kelly. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, so those two ordinances will be back on the agenda August 24th for adoption at that time. Next item is on introduction of CCMG additional appropriation ordinance number 799. So Callie, you want to explain that?
So every year we have to do an additional appropriation for the spending of the CCMG, which is the community crossings grant. And basically we do the additional appropriation because we receive the amount we're getting after budget has passed. So I'm asking for an additional appropriation from the local road and bridge match of $155,007.29. And then the community crossing grant is $620,029.13.
So like the 620,000, that's a part of the Van Buren project.
This is all for
Both-
the
both.
Berne.
Okay.
Mhm.
So that was awarded to us when, in May or July or June?
We got it in,
Yeah, in April,
April, I
we received
believe.
the money.
Okay, because we didn't get the first one,
No,
the first round. We didn't get anything.
so we applied for it, they denied us, and then they actually had more funding available, so they opened it back up to
Okay.
applications that were,
Already in the hot.
denied.
yeah,
Okay.
that were approved but denied,
Yeah.
like,
I
and
never
so.
quite understood how.
There was a legislator that pushed through brought up a bill that was voted on and passed to increase or add money to the CCMG fund designated for those communities that had applied and got denied back in December
Mhm.
of 25. And it was a quick turnaround to when we found out it was going to be opened. We had to get bid and had to get it bid and sent in by a certain deadline date, and which we did. And fortunately, we got funded then $620,000 for that project.
Okay.
So,
Cool. Okay, thanks for the clarification there.
okay, anything else on that, Callum?
I don't think so.
Okay.
So do we need a motion to introduce?
Motion to introduce this ordinance 799.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. Now, does that have to be adopted tonight, or do we wait?
When do you need it?
I know, I haven't received any bills or anything, so
So
it's
We can put it
okay.
on in 2 weeks. All right, attorney comments?
I don't have anything.
You have anything? Do you have any other comments, Cal?
I don't think so.
Okay. Under mayor comments, our construction projects continue, along fairly well. The, one company is doing sewer laterals on actually they've completed sewer laterals on Van Buren Street east of 27. And now they're starting on west of 27. The stormwater project, I believe, is clear to the dead end of Van Buren Street. So that project will continue. At some point in time here, they'll dig out the street and then put in curb and sidewalk and so forth. Trying to think here what else I was going to say. In September, we have Shred Day on September 21st, maybe. Hang on just a minute. I'll announce this again, but September 19th is Shred Day, Saturday, 9 to 12 here at City Hall in the parking lot. And then the heavy trash, our fall heavy trash pickup week will be the 21st through the 25th on the regular trash pickup day that the customer has. So those are 2 dates coming up in September that people like to hear about.
So, Mr. Mayor, that shred day, that's for the entire city, right? Not
Yeah.
just for the city by itself, the entire community.
Yeah, the city by
Okay.
itself.
I know
Yeah.
you did that, okay. Alright. City.
I think that's all I have under mayor comments. Any council comments?
Going back to the salary ordinance, so that's kind of preparatory to the budgeting process. So Cal, when will we start looking at like the
Yeah,
entire
so
budget?
we'll adopt the salary ordinance, hopefully the next meeting. And then I am hoping to present the budget on September 8th. We discuss it. And then,
September 13th.
or am I looking at the right date? Yep, I was looking at Tuesday, September 14th.
14th.
Yeah.
Yeah,
14th.
Yes.
that's the second Monday in September.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
14th.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Figured you were anxious to get going on
Oh,
that.
yeah. The only thing I just thought of is that the grant for the park has been
Oh,
submitted.
yeah, we submitted the grant at the end of July, so we just sit and wait now until the end of December, sometime during the end of December to find out whether we are approved for that grant or not. So,
And remind me, please, what that specifically covers. If we get the grant, what part of the park renovation does that cover? Is it,
well, we had the dollar amount for the grant that we submitted, it was for playground equipment. To be probably placed near the piece that we have there, the huge piece that we have now. Any other comments? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Kelly, is there a second? Second. Second by Curtis, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.